You know you're here, right? We need to go and find someone.
Someone's gonna come collect me.
Well, where did you get to? We were looking everywhere for you.
I'll tell you later.
Okay, listen, we need to get in there. Ignore Tom, okay? You just let him hear your story.
Mrs. King, we're ready for you.
Asking the woman of my dreams to be my wife.
So what went wrong?
I suppose things just felt a little too much too soon.
So you turned him down? In short, you told him no?
Obviously, it wasn't the answer I was hoping for, but I wouldn't say I was angry. I just wanted to go off and lick my wounds.
He was still upset about it. He was angry even. But I didn't want to leave it like that, and that's when I grabbed his arm and he pushed me away.
It must have been enough to catch her off balance. She hit the side of her head. I felt terrible about it. We both did. But as Belle said herself at the time, it was an accident.
Quite. And as it turns out, this wasn't to be the last marriage proposal. Only next time it would in fact be Mrs. King getting down on one knee.
I guess a part of me wanted to put it right after last time. Because I turned him down. And I loved him. And he loved me. Or at least I thought. And things really were good for a while. Until the wedding day.
It wasn't exactly what either of us were hoping for.
He blamed me for it all. Like it was my responsibility because it was my family.
We got through it. Belle had this letter from her mother to be opened on the day of her wedding. I knew how much it meant to her. So I went up to bed thinking that she would join me when she was ready. But she never did.
No, he was quite clear. He said it was about time I did what he wanted. Our wedding night, and Tom told me to sleep downstairs. On my own.
At the age of 15, you were sentenced to 3 years in a youth detention center for her manslaughter. Must have had a serious impact.
Of course. But that was such a long time ago. And I'm not trying to minimize what happened, but I am not the same person.
I couldn't connect that history of violence to the Belle I knew and loved.
Of course I was worried how he might react. And yeah, maybe I should have told him sooner, but it was never my intention to not tell him.
Belle explained that she'd been on medication since the diagnosis. And though there'd been some ups and downs, she was confident that the medication was at the right level and working. And I took that to mean that the violent episodes had ceased and everything was okay. I believed her.
I had no concerns about my medication at this point. It's been quite some time since my last lapse, and even if I did, my mental health team, they were just a phone call away.
But there were occasions where I think maybe she would forget to take a medication. She could be pretty up and down. Moody, forgetful, argumentative. I tried to be as patient and understanding as I could be, but it was taking its toll.
I never forgot to take my medication. It was too important.
Did Mrs. King ever tell you, outright, that she was being abused by her husband?
She didn't have to.
Why was that?
Because in my opinion, it was clear she was being controlled by him. And I know for a fact her cousin Charity shared my concerns.
but Mrs. King never explicitly communicated to you or your team that her husband was being abusive towards her. A simple yes or no will suffice.
No.
Thank you. No further questions. In the time you and Mr. King were together, was he ever physically violent towards you?
Well, no.
How about his relationship with your daughter, Esther? Any concerns for violence there?
No. He was actually always really good with her.
Turning now to the day the defendant ended up with an axe in his back. I believe you helped orchestrate the meeting between Mrs. King and her husband. What would you say your motives were at the time?
He wanted to speak to her because she was going to go to the police about him.
So you spoke to Mrs. King and said what exactly? It's important for you to be as accurate as possible here, please.
I told her that I wanted to talk to her in private.
Would it be fair to say that you purposefully allowed Mrs. King to believe that you had something to tell her that might add to her allegations against her husband?
Yes.
But in truth, you didn't believe her allegations, did you? Again, a simple yes or no will suffice.
No.
I imagine you might have had cause to reconsider your ploy if you'd known the man you were in a relationship with, the man you very much believed to be innocent, would end up with an axe in his back.
I wasn't there. I didn't see what happened. It was just Tom and Belle. They're the only ones that know what actually happened, but...
Thank you. No more questions.
Anyone else?